Hello, everybody. Zankoku here, and I know it's been a while, but I'm here with a new video. Yeah, I know, crazy, huh? So today, I am going to be reviewing an anime series about strange beings attacking Earth and the students that must fight to defeat them. No, not that one. No, these students have superpowers. No, not that. Think more Ecchi. No, even more Ecchi. Oh, okay. Look, I'm like not that ecchi. I mean, that's just borderline hentai. Okay, just no, scale it back, and you're gonna get the anime that I'm reviewing, and that is the anime called Freezing. And as you can tell, it isn't the most original of concepts. So, what is freezing about exactly? Well, sometime in the future, Earth is being attacked by gigantic creatures called novas. To defend against this threat, the world's governments use soldiers called Pandoras, who are females biologically compatible with special implants called stigmata. You know, because anime loves Catholic imagery and terms, so case in point right here. The Pandoras gain special abilities from the stigmata, and along with the male partners called limiters, who can cast what is called freezing. Roll credits. No, wait, wrong show. Anyways, this freezing limits the movements of their enemies or cancels out the freezings used against themselves. So together they train and learn battle skills in specialized military schools. So the main plot revolves around two students in one of those academies. The first is Kazuya Aoi, who is your typical male protagonist nice guy who all the helpless losers, viewers, can easily project themselves onto and live vicariously through until they realize that this fantasy is nowhere close to being obtainable, and it all comes crashing down with them accepting just how pathetic they are and begin to wallow in their own sense of worthlessness and self-pity until they become numb to the harsh world around them and withdraw into an endless spiral of addiction and self-destruction. Oh, that went to a dark place rather quickly. So, Kazuya is the younger brother of a famous Pandora that died saving the world, and he decides to become a limiter because of her sacrifice. But to become a limiter, he must find a Pandora willing to partner with him, and that brings us to the other main character, Satellizer L. Bridget. Yeah, Satellizer. Yeah, seriously, Japan. Like why? Just why? I mean, Satellizer? That is not even a freaking name. I mean, when you search on the internet for Satellizer, and that's right, I'm using Bing, so take that, Google. The only non-freezing related result is a token-based authentication module for AngularJS, which whatever the hell that thing is. So, but oh man, the name is so exotic and unique. Well, you know what? Shit. And Bridget is unique and exotic to Japanese people. I mean, I don't know any Japanese people named Bridget, anyways. I mean, it's not only that common here in the States, but I mean, shit, you could have just called her Bridget L. Satellizer, and you'd still have that crazy, fucked up name, and no one would care because it's the last name. You could just basically use whatever. But whatever. We gotta be all like, super unique and stuff. So, I mean, yeah. Anyways, enough about that. So, Satellizer. Is a powerful Pandora, nicknamed the Untouchable Queen because of her aversion to physical contact. And honestly, when you find out why, you kind of understand and really sympathize with her because, I mean, I guess going through something like that and make the touch of other people's quite sickening. And of course, the Kazuya is the only person who can actually make contact with her without her, like, getting all bent out of shape. But so she is your typical, beautiful, introverted tsundere protagonist with a chip on her shoulder, and of course, Kazuya wants to partner with her because she reminds him of his sister. So you can see where this interpersonal dynamic between the two will play out just right from the beginning of the series. So Kazuya will try his best to win the trust of Satellizer, all the while she wants nothing to do with him or any partner for that matter. So we have the typical conflict setup, the typical relationship setup. So what about the plot of the series? Well, considering it is a show about superpowered students living in a world living in constant fear of an attack by gigantic interdimensional monsters, you would think that most of the episodes would be a life and death struggle to defeat a nearly endless onslaught of powerful enemies, pushing our protagonists to their limits, both physically and emotionally, until a climactic final battle occurs. Well, you'd be wrong. As instead, we get a high school drama played out by superpowered individuals whose conflict resolution skills involve beating the ever living shit out of each other. Yeah, I can basically sum up most of the episodes as follows. Satellizer pisses off ex-fellow classmate or upperclassman, fight Satellizer until she kicks their ass, and that in turn pisses off another student who will pick a fight with her in the next episode. Wash, rinse, repeat, and we have a series. And that is my biggest problem with this series. They completely waste the premise of the conflict with the Nova, even though it is quite derivative. But that conflict had the potential for some really intriguing storylines involving the origin and motivation and even the goals of the Nova, which are only slightly touched upon toward the end, but even then it seems more like a ripoff of Evangelion. And instead, we have this Degrassi Junior High bullshit. I mean, look it up, people, look it up. And that's all well and good, but that isn't how this show was sold. At least it wasn't sold as this to me. Sure, the fights between the students are entertaining, if not rather predictable. I mean, you really don't have any fear that Satellizer is ever going to get beaten by anyone. And the series really should have focused more on the fight between humanity and the Novas. Seriously, I think the Nova only show up twice the entire season. I mean, the only saving grace of this entire first season, and yes, there is a second season that I will reveal eventually, fingers crossed, and that is the copious amounts of titties we get throughout. I mean, this is an Ecchi series after all, and it does deliver in that department. A lot of the humor in this series comes from innuendo involving the various rituals involving the partnerships between the Pandora and the Limiters. To make a partnership official, the two have to go through the ritual of baptism. Now, it is never revealed what actually goes on during a baptism, but knowing how the characters are embarrassed by the thought of it and knowing what a real baptism entails leads one to wonder about what fluids are being used and where. Anyways, the show also mentions that Pandoras will invite their limiters to their dorm room for a night to take care of their needs. I mean, you know. And of course, we all know what that means. Like, they're gonna play some Yahtzee or something, right? You know, because kids get bored. They want to play board games, right? No, anyways, it's sex. Come on, it's sex. And all this is seemingly sanctioned by the school. I mean, adding to that is what seems to be one of the Pandoras creating a male sex slave harem, and the sexual content is just right up there. I mean, not as over the top as Seikan no Quasar, but still quite a generous amount. And it also has heroin corruption, and which to me is woefully underrepresented in Ecchi animes. I mean, you know, it's just you don't really see it outside of the hentai zone all that much. So when all is said and done, Freezing is a somewhat banal high school relationships drama in the guise of a sci-fi action anime that deserves a score of 2 out of 5. But because of the loads of titties, sexual innuendo jokes, and heroin corruption, you gotta love that. It really gives it a lot more watchability, and with hopes that the second season will maybe live up to its potential, I will give this first season a score of 3 out of 5. So if you like nudity, female on female violence, and don't mind the schoolyard drama, Freezing can actually be a fun and mildly entertaining, if not shallow watch. Alright, so if you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button and check out my channel for more videos. Subscribe if you like. I mean, like, it really matters anyways, you know. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, so now that my loyal viewers are the only ones left, there is one last thing that I want to say about freezing, and this may be considered a spoiler, so spoiler warning. So the reason that Satellizer doesn't like to be touched, and also why she deserves the viewer's empathy and understanding about her cold, almost callous demeanor, is that she was emotionally and sexually abused by her half brother from the time when she moved in with them as a young girl right up till the time that she left for the academy. So yeah, she kind of gets a pass because that shit is fucked, and it kind of makes you want to grind up that pompous ass fuckface into dust and piss him into mud. But that's just my feelings on him. I mean, shit. First of all, it's did I say stepbrother? I meant to say half brother if I said stepbrother. But my God, it's like you're related to this chick, and he wasn't like, I don't know if he's like the same age or a little younger because it doesn't look like he's older. And so, she's like a little girl and you're a little guy. And like, how do you even know any of that stuff to like actually do that stuff from the time that she's like a kid all the way? I mean, I guess maybe it just started out as she was just like a physical slave and then just went sort of psychosexual afterwards. But still, my God, gee, what in the world? I mean, just, there's always got to be something, right? There's always got to be something. But yeah, so yeah, hate to end it with you know rapey incestual stuff, but then again, isn't most of my videos about rapey incestual stuff anyways? I don't know. I guess it's Japan, Japan. Woo, hooray! So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it. So goes talk to you guys later.